Skip Bayless has a show on FS1. It is called Undisputed. Michael Irvin, the playmaker, is scheduled to join him. Keyshawn Johnson is also scheduled to join him. Let me say that I'm not happy.
This is the finale to the storyline. This is the final video we are making on this story, both for ESPN and for Fox Sports, because it seems like the dust is settled and the future is officially clear. So before we get to the content, we're announcing giveaways for Madden 24 on my Instagram story at The Flight Mike, on my Snapchat story, Flight Mike Snap. Make sure you're followed on both, and we're also giving some away on X as well. It's so weird saying X. Now that we got all that out of the way, work! Ladies and gentlemen, the NFL is finally back.
That's impossible!
But I'm gonna admit, the preseason is boring as shit. I mean, when the second stringers and third stringers come out, your boy does tend to fall asleep a little bit. But I found a way to make the preseason all the more interesting. Because ladies and gentlemen, we are back! Posting prize picks on the days that there are significant preseason games, starting from the Hall of Fame game all the way to the Super Bowl. Your boy is going to be making picks on his Instagram story. The picks are free. All you have to do is follow me on Instagram to get them. And if you haven't signed up for prize picks, right now when you use my promo code Mikerophone, you'll double your deposit up to $100. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsorship. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? It has been one hell of a roller coaster ride ever since 2.5 months ago when Shannon Sharpe decided to agree to a buyout with Fox Sports, ending the run that he had with Skip Bayless on Undisputed as the top sports debate show on television since 2016. And there was a lot of speculation as to why. People speculated that was because Skip and Shannon didn't really get along anymore. I personally speculated that the relationship ran its course. Shannon Sharpe was relatively unknown before he joined Undisputed, although he did have a partnership with CBS Sports and he appeared on ESPN before. He wasn't the superstar that he is now. Since then, he established a very prominent podcast, Club Shay Shay, created a fantastic brand for himself, and is beloved by thousands of sports fans. At this point, it just didn't make sense for him to answer to Skip Bayless anymore, and it also didn't make sense for him to wake up 5 times a week, 4 a.m. in the morning, to debate with Skip Bayless for 3 hours a day. Especially at his age, it seems like it was starting to wear him down. So Shannon Sharpe's strategy has officially been unveiled, by the way. He announced that he is partnering his podcast with Colin Cowherd's company in this video.
Do you have good news for me? You're smiling.
I have great news for you. We're in business together, bro. I decided to bring Club Shay Shay over and partner with you. When we first started, you said, hey, give me an opportunity, hear what everybody else has to say. And I listened to everybody, but I felt the volume was the best place for me.
Shannon Sharpe is officially part of the volume.
I feel like I landed Peyton Manning in Denver.
And in order to keep up appearances on national television, Shannon Sharpe has agreed to a contract with ESPN to appear on First Take twice a week starting on September 4th. In response to this, Shannon Sharpe tweeted, "Get your popcorn ready," with this Photoshop image of Stephen A. Smith and himself on Dwayne Wade and LeBron James's infamous alley-oop. And Stephen A. Smith even announced it on First Take here.
Mr. Shannon Sharpe will be joining the crew. He will debut Monday, September 4th.
Which brings us to what is Skip Bayless's rebuttal to this entire situation. Bear in mind, Skip Bayless announced that Undisputed returns in 3 days. And so far, what we know about Skip Bayless's plan is he plans on bringing in Richard Sherman to debate football topics with him. He plans to bring on Lil Wayne to debate with him every single Friday. And he also brought on Rachel Nichols, who will be featured on the show as well, although her role isn't defined yet. Those are 3 incredible players to replace the gigantic void that Shannon Sharpe is leaving behind. But it appears as though this war isn't over. Although ESPN seems to have their future clear, Fox Sports is still responding. And it looks like they're continuing to respond today. Now, bear in mind, when we first heard the rumor of Shannon Sharpe coming to First Take, Stephen A. Smith said he would love for Shannon Sharpe to be on First Take, but
I apologize for this to no one. I love me some Michael Irvin. That's my brother.
So you wanted to make sure that ESPN kept Michael Irvin, but bear in mind Michael Irvin was in some controversy, which we've covered in a previous upload if you want to get yourself up to speed on the allegations levied against Michael Irvin from Super Bowl week last year. Because it looks like Michael Irvin is heading over to Fox Sports to join Skip Bayless. So about 4 days ago, we got a report that former NFL player Keyshawn Johnson is closing in on joining Skip Bayless on Undisputed. In addition to Keyshawn, Michael Irvin appears to have a role as well. Ex-NFL cornerback Richard Sherman already said to be joining the show as well. But that was a premature report. Why? Because despite Skip Bayless announcing that Keyshawn Johnson is joining him on Undisputed, it turns out that was premature per Sports Report. Sources say that Skip's announcement was premature because ESPN has yet to release Johnson from his contract. Keyshawn Johnson was in the second year of a 5-year contract worth about $18 million when he was told that he's laid off. So Keyshawn Johnson had to reach an agreement with ESPN before he could go to Fox. And fortunately for him, a buyout was reached. ESPN has reached an agreement with Keyshawn Johnson on an $18 million buyout, and Keyshawn will join Skip Bayless as his new partner on FS1's Undisputed. Richard Sherman and Michael Irvin are also on board. So this appears to conclude both ESPN and Fox Sports' plans moving forward as to what they're going to do for their day-to-day sports debate shows. At least from my interpretation, the plan is for Skip to debate against Keyshawn Johnson on a day-to-day basis, bringing in Richard Sherman periodically to debate him on football about 50 to 100 times a year, featuring Rachel Nichols whenever he wants to debate basketball, and Michael Irvin will be included as well, although I don't necessarily know his role, but we could potentially see a rotation of Michael Irvin and Keyshawn Johnson, which should be interesting because both Michael Irvin and Skip Bayless are diehard Dallas Cowboys fans, so I want to see how the dynamic is going to be. But if you ask me, for both ESPN and what they were trying to achieve, bear in mind they had to shed a lot of salary, acquired Pat McAfee, brought in Shannon Sharpe, doing as much as they can to revive their shows that, with all due respect, were getting kind of stale for me. I would say that they succeeded in what they were trying to achieve. Shannon Sharpe should be a huge breath of fresh air for those watching First Take, and I definitely will be tuning in to see how that goes. Whereas for Undisputed, Skip Bayless didn't have a lot of time to replace Shannon Sharpe. I mean, Shannon Sharpe left the show incredibly abruptly, which resulted in Skip Bayless having no choice but to think fast about who the replacement should be. And I would say he succeeded as well. Michael Irvin is very entertaining and energetic. Richard Sherman has a past with Skip Bayless and articulates his arguments and points very well. Lil Wayne is an interesting wild card to feature each and every Friday. This could be huge for Keyshawn Johnson's career as well, as he looks to take the next step and maybe create a brand for himself that was similar to what Shannon Sharpe had going on for him. At the end of the day, this looks like a gigantic trade if you think about it. It's like Skip Bayless is trading Shannon Sharpe to get Michael Irvin and Keyshawn Johnson from ESPN. Let me know what you guys think about both sides. Which show do you think is going to be more entertaining, Undisputed or First Take? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.